So hi everyone, myself Nishan. So let's just discuss the architecture diagram for the full stack TODO app application. So in front end I've used React and Chartchain UI. So I've imported the components from the Chartchain and styled using the Tailwind. I've used React Query for API caching and mutation also for handling the routing. I've created the API helper method which uses the fetch method, and I've created the four methods like fetch, create, update and delete, which would be invoked according to the user action. And yeah, it handles front end handles the to do, edit to do, delete to do, and mark complete part. So let's come to the backend. So backend I've used NuxtJS, and I've every request when made from the front end uh, come to the controller part. So controller, there are 5 routes I've created for the 5 methods: get, post, patch, delete and put. So get is used to get all the to-dos available in the database. Post is used to add a to-do, new to-do into the database. Patch is used to update specific part of the to-do in my database, like mark the to-do as completed. Delete is used to delete a particular to-do in my database, and put is used to update the to-do, like updating title and description of the to-do in my database. So next, the controller sends a request to the service layer. So the service layers contain all the business logic for all the routes we have just discussed. So the service layer execute the database queries with the help of type ORM. So we will discuss it later on. So what service layer, then the request goes from service to DTOs, which check whether the request payload, body payload is valid or not. After, so that we can perform valid operation over database. Then after the request hit the DTOs, the type ORM execute the database table which is declared in the entity, like to ID column, title, description column is completed and created column in our database, so that our table is created with all the necessary columns. Next, based on the service layer execute, type ORM provides certain methods like read, delete, update, which can be invoked by the service layer. Basically, what is the purpose of type ORM? Type ORM acts as a bridge between our database layer and the backend. Our service layer can't execute queries directly on the database, so it invokes certain functions from the type ORM, and then the type ORM convert these functions into our SQL queries, and database return the data to the type ORM. Type ORM return the data back to the service layer. That's how our architecture, that's how our TODO app behave. And similarly, the response is sent back to the front end. Let's just start with the demo part. So as you can see, I've hosted the front end at 5173 port. So let's just add a to do, like read the book at evening. Let me just change the to-do title. Read the book by William Shakespeare at 5 p.m. So let me just hit the post method by clicking add to do. So as you can see, this to do with a particular ID is added to our database. So I can now I can perform 3 operations on it. I can either delete it, I can mark as completed. As you can see, I marked this completed, or I can update it. So what I'm doing, I'm using the put method. I'm using the put method by editing this to do. So I'm editing the title, like read the book by William Richards, and let me just update the description. I just change the time like 6 p.m. Just save the changes. As you can see, the changes are reflected back into my front end. Let me just also reload and check the changes are reflected or not. Yeah, so it handles the reloading part too. Now I can also delete this particular to do. Just delete it. As you can see, there's no to-dos left. Let me just add two to-dos and reload the page to check whether the to-dos are present, are updating, are reflecting on the front end or not. So say to do 1, title will be log, add to do to just reload the page. Yeah, they are both added and both would be deleted too. So yeah, that's all.